I'm Damien O'Kane, and this is my new album. It's my third solo record, and it's called Avenging and Bright. Me and the lads being the wonderful Mr. Stephen Iveson on electric guitar, Anthony Davis on keys, and pads and synths and bass and many other things. Mr. Stephen Burns on acoustic guitars. We just had a chat about it, and I said to everybody, well, how's everybody fixed in September this year? Everybody was like, get the diaries out, yeah, everybody's pretty clear. So I said, right, well, let's just get into the studio and try and make an album, and that's what we did. It was a great way of working, so, you know, like I say, I've never worked like that before. Really intense, because I also give myself a deadline. You know, I booked the mixing engineer for a certain date in October. I booked the mastering engineer, so we had to have the album done by, you know, a certain date in October. And all in all, I think we had the album done in about 6 weeks, which that's why I'm looking a little bit grey. Track 1 on the album is a song called Boston City. It's also known as a few other titles, most notably The Boston Burglar. I actually found my version, the Boston City version, in a book, of songs compiled by Colin O'Loughlin. Irish Street Ballads, it's called. And I then later, after we had recorded the song, I then found another version in a great collection of songs by Sam Henry called The Songs of the People. And it's called The Boston Burglar in his version. It's got an extra verse as well. But I just love the story in this song. You know, it's about a Boston resident, and he's been a bad boy, robs a bank and gets caught, and the imagery of the mother, the tears trickling down, seeing her son go to prison. Yeah, I really loved this song. I had the real pleasure of having Ron Block of Alison Krauss's band, and a fantastic solo artist in his own right. He's guested on 5-string banjo. Ron and I are actually doing a banjo project together at the minute. I love playing with Ron, and anytime he plays on a track, it kind of goes from there to there. So it was fantastic to get Ron on this one. Track 2 on the album is a song called Poor Stranger, or I Am a Poor Stranger. And it's a song I got from previously mentioned book, The Songs of Ireland. And I just love the simplicity of this song. Even though there's only 3 verses in it, it kind of creates really beautiful imagery. When I picked this song, when I chose to do this song, I wanted to include a female singer, because obviously it's about a lady who, you know, gets kind of lost on her way and comes across a cottage, and the man invites her in, and they live happily ever after. But one of my favourite female vocalists is a fantastic singer called Pauline Scanlon from County Kerry, and she joined me on this song, which was fantastic to get her, really. Track 3 is a pretty dark song called Though All Bright Flowers. I wasn't able to find the lyrics of this song. I found it obviously in a book, the same book as I mentioned again, Songs of Ireland. But I always try and look at stuff on the internet as well and see, you know, anybody else that's sung the song or what other people have got to say about it. And I couldn't find any evidence of this song at all. But my reading of it is, you know, it's a song about how Ireland has been through a lot of hard times, a lot of oppression, a lot of turmoil, but in the end, it's kind of it always pulls through. So it kind of makes me quite proud to be Irish, this one. Track 4 on the album is the title track, Avenging and Bright. Again, is the story of Conor, the King of Ulster, and the betrayal of the 3 sons of Usna. If you're interested, go and check this story out. But the story is actually said to be one of the 3 tragic stories of the Irish. Another pretty dark song. Yeah, Avenging and Bright. Track 5 on the album is an instrumental track, and this tune always reminds me of growing up listening to Artie McGlynn, who is one of, in my opinion, one of the key musicians in the folk revival of the 60s and 70s in Ireland. But he made an album with his partner Nola Casey quite a few years ago called Lead the Knave, and on the album Artie's playing a lot of the melodies on electric guitar, which for me anyway was a completely new thing, playing tunes on the electric guitar. So this track's definitely quite influenced, not only by his playing the tunes on the electric, but also by the production of that record as well. So this is a tune called Castle Kelly's. Track 6 on the album is a song called Lately, which was written by my wife, the wonderful Kate Rusby. It might sound biased, but I really, truly think Kate is one of the top songwriters in this country. And I remember actually recording on this track on a Kate album, I think it's way back in 2010. And I've always loved the words, I've always loved the melody, and I had it in mind to do this song one day, so I've eventually done it. But it's a song basically about time. It's a song about life and getting through life sometimes, getting through certain aspects of life, like panic, anxiety, all of which I can relate to. I've suffered a little bit with that kind of stuff when I was at uni. But it's just such a gorgeous song, and I'm dead pleased that Kate agreed to sing on this one with me as well. Track 7 on the album is a song called All Among the Barley, an English song which I've known for quite a few years. I used to play in a duo with a fantastic singer from Keighley called Laura Huckenhull, and Laura used to sing this one in the duo. It's another one of those, sometimes you play with different people and they'll sing certain songs that you think to yourself, I'd really like to sing that one. And this has always been one of those ones. I had a wonderful guest on this song as well, actually, one of Northern Ireland's finest singers and musicians, one of the world's finest singers and musicians, actually, a man called Barry Kerr. Track 8 on the album is a song called January Man that was written by Dave Golder. Now, I had heard of Dave Golder before, but I'd never heard the song before. It was actually my father-in-law and Kate Rusby who said, we were talking about what songs I was going to be doing on the album, and when you get chatting to people sometimes, they're like, oh, you should maybe do this one, or maybe do that one. But anyway, the January Man song was brought up in conversation, and I was like, well, never heard that before. It's amazing, actually, the guy that wrote this song, not only is he a great songwriter, but he's a master dry stone waller as well, apparently. But it's weird because the guy that wrote it, I don't think goes out and does many gigs or whatever, but he's written an absolute classic song in this, and I remember listening to a version by Christy Moore as well. So just a great fantastic song, as I say, about the passage of time, and it's called January Man. Track 9 on the album is a song called The Homes of Donegal. I was probably in my mum's belly listening to this one, to be honest. Paul Brady's version is just, it really reminds me of my childhood, growing up in the house, and all of the trad music playing in the background. And there were certain little songs that you remember more than other ones, which I must have always loved listening to the folky stuff, because it really stuck. But yeah, this is a great song called The Homes of Donegal. Track 10 on the album is a track called Many's the Night. It's also known as When a Man's in Love. Yeah, it's a song I got from one of my, I always call it my folk Bible. It's a book called Folk Songs of North Derry, Shamrock, Rose and Thistle. And the song was sung by McGilligan's Best, a man called Eddie Butcher. And yeah, it's basically a song about blackmail and boy gets girl through a little bit of blackmail. Naughty boy. The final track on the album, track 11, is a tune I wrote myself. It's a tune called Dancing in Puddles. I actually wrote this tune quite a long time ago for my eldest daughter, Daisy, who is a big Peppa Pig fan. No, she was a big Peppa Pig fan when she was younger. And you know, Peppa Pig loves to jump in muddy puddles. So of course, whenever we went out for walks with Daisy when she was small, you couldn't go past any puddles without jumping in them. So the walks were very slow. Peppa Pig's got a lot to answer for. But anyway, I always used to love the amount of joy that it brought Daisy. You know, something as simple as jumping in a puddle. But yeah, I wrote her this tune one day, just thinking about out walking with her, and it's a tune called Dancing in Puddles, and I was privileged to have Mr. Ron Block on banjo again on this track. So that's Avenging and Bright, that's the whole album. I hope you enjoy.